Hey everyone, Patty Lynch here. Welcome to week 9 of LDU, Leadership Development University. So for those of you just joining us, we are working with the Rock Your Network Marketing Business book by Sarah Robbins. And we are on chapter 9. Now chapter 9 was enlightening, to say the least. This again, I know that I've said that other chapters are my favorite, but this one is right up there. It's called Preparing Yourself to Lead. So one thing that I learned fairly early on in this business is that I don't have all the answers when it comes to how to be a great leader, which is why I continue to train myself and to continue to learn. And the more you learn, the more you earn. And so you can't stop learning in this business. It's not an overnight success story. You have to continue to continue to prepare yourself to be the leader that you want to be. And I know that early on in the game, I probably was not a great leader. There's probably people now that think that I'm not a great leader, but I do the best that I can with the knowledge that I have, and that's really all I can do. And that was what was enlightening about this chapter, was that, as Becca always says, you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. And Sarah's biggest point in this entire chapter was fail forward. You're going to make mistakes along the way. It's all part of being a great leader. It's kind of like being a parent. My parents always told me, if your kids don't like you, then you're probably doing something right. Because, and that's probably a horrible analogy. However, when you're parenting your children, there's lots of manuals out there that you can read, but every child is different, just like every team member is different, and just like you're different from everybody else. And so when you go into a leadership role, you have to kind of learn the ropes as you go, and you're going to make mistakes and you're going to fail forward. So the biggest thing with leadership is the personal and professional growth. Now, excuse me, I know from my own perspective that this business didn't just teach me professional growth. It didn't give me just professional growth. It actually gave me personal growth as well. I've become a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, all because I learned to listen better by being a leader, because you really need to hear what it is that someone's coming to you with for an objection or a problem or a concern. And when you actually have to stop and listen so that you can help them with a solution, and I'm not saying give them the answers, but help them with a solution to their problem, it helps you in your everyday life, because you become a better listener, you become a better problem solver. It's just all about personal and professional growth. One of the things for me is I wasn't always comfortable in front of the camera, but look at me now. I make videos all the time, and it's not a big deal. I look at it like I am talking to a friend, because those of you watching are probably friends of mine or team members of mine, and I'm just having a one-sided conversation. So this chapter, Sarah talks about be an empowered entrepreneur. That's what we all are. We're entrepreneurs. We are all small business owners. And our business is a little bit different than like a brick and mortar type business, because we don't manage people. We don't write quarterly reviews for our employees. Our employees are bags of testers. So if they don't perform well, you can't fire them. You can just change catalogs, right? So a brick and mortar store, you have management, and you have different levels of management who have different roles and different tasks. When it comes to being an entrepreneur in this type of industry, in direct sales, and especially with Scentsy, again, like we've always talked about, it's all about building relationships, but you want to feel empowered so that you can give the information that people are seeking. So in this business, we experience a lot of rejection. Now, I've talked to you about the restaurant scenario where the server comes over to your table, they ask if you want more water, soda, or coffee, and you say no. The waiter or waitress does not go to the back room and bawl their eyes out because you said no to their offer. They just move on to the next person. It's the same idea. We endure a lot of rejection in our business, and that's okay. They're not saying no to you personally. They're just saying no to the opportunity. And no doesn't always mean no forever. It can just mean, as we always say, no just means not right now. One thing that Jen always talked to me about was, and actually my father as well, and those of you that don't know Nelson, please make sure you get to know him. He's phenomenal, and he's taught me a lot, trust me. But when you are having a great day and you are on top of the world, that's when you go down. You talk to your downline, you express all of your successes, and you're always encouraging and you're always sharing. But when you're having a bad day, don't go to your downline and complain, because there's nothing, well, I can't say nothing, there's very little that's less appealing to someone who is either new in the business or trying to find their place in this business than to hear their upline complain. So if you're having a bad day and you need to complain, you go up. And I'm not talking about to God. I mean, it could be, but you want to go to your upline. Talk to your upline and tell them that you're experiencing these problems, issues, whatever they are, and let them help you. Because chances are, if they're your upline, they've already experienced it. So when you're down, go up. When you're up, go down. Don't compare yourself to others. There's only one you. And a lot of people will say, thank goodness there's only one me. But there's only one you. You can't compare yourself to everybody. If you do, all you're going to do is feel like a failure all of the time. If they're soaring really high, really fast, and you're not, you could potentially feel like a failure. No one wants to feel like a failure. That's not what this business is about. This business is about empowering us, right? Be prepared to grow. Your business is not going to stay where it's at if you work the steps of this program. Your business has no choice but to grow, because you're constantly filling your bucket with leads and you're constantly following up with those leads. They will lead to more parties, more customers, and more prospects for your business. You always want to exude energy and excitement. If you are a Debbie Downer, do not do a live video on your Facebook page, because people are just going to think that you are miserable. If you do a video, if you post something, if you chat with someone, make it upbeat and exciting. People want to be around people who are fun. And I'm not saying you have to be a cheerleader, because trust me, I am far from a cheerleader, but I like to have fun and joke around. And I know you do too. So let people see that side of you. It's very, very empowering. Encourage and recognize efforts. So you don't necessarily just recognize those who have gone above and beyond and done great and amazing things in their business. If they're active for the month, make sure you shout them out, call them out on it. Hey, great job, you're active this month. They had a party. Okay, so maybe it bombed. It doesn't matter. They did a party. Encourage them. Shout it from the rooftops. Hey, everybody, let's give Susie Q a shout out. She's got her first home party today. Good luck, Susie Q. Something like that. You know, it just be encouraging. People work harder for praises than they do for raises. And I can definitely attest to that. I know that in a lot of my 9-to-5 jobs, I would go above and beyond just so that somebody would say, hey, Patty, great job. Thank you so much for doing that. I knew that it wouldn't amount to any more money in my paycheck, but I did it because I wanted to feel the praise. I wanted to feel the love, and I wanted to feel the recognition. And I encourage you to praise and recognize your team members so that they will continue to do what they're doing. Because one thing that you will hear me say often is what gets recognized and rewarded gets repeated. And that reward can be something as simple as a shout out. Encourage your team. Encourage them to go out and search for events. Encourage them to work on their list of 100 in their Franks list. Educate your team. Training is probably one of the most important things in this business, because it's not hard to sell wax and warmers, diffusers and oils and all of the other great products that Scentsy sells. That's not the hard part of this business. The hard part of this business is to figure out how to get those leads. Where this program comes in handy is that I've given you, along with the help from Sarah Robbins here, I have given you ample advice on different ways that you can generate leads. And so if you, like I said, if you follow this program, you will do well. You need to equip your team. And what I mean by that is, so you need to find someone in your group who emulates a lot of your similar personality traits and training styles and just somebody that you know, like, and trust. Someone that you know will do a great job in your absence. So if you're not available, we talked about in the last chapter, is, having them reach out to other team members in the group page, same idea. Find someone and say, hey, I'm not going to be available this weekend, but I know that Sally Sue will be available. So feel free to reach out to them. It's really, simple as that. Encouragement is important. You want to encourage your team members to seek information, watching YouTube videos, reading books, staying engaged, going to meetings, you name it. Knowledge is power. I can't say it any more strong than that. Be ethical, be honest, be genuine, be kind, and don't gossip. We all fall into that trap at times. I'll be the first to admit I'm not perfect. I do fall into that trap at times. But you don't want to be a gossiper. When someone comes to you with a problem and it pertains to someone in your group, ask them if you could repeat it to the person that they're talking about. And if they say no, then you probably don't even want to broach the subject, because it's going to be negative. It's going to bring you both down. Help them without necessarily talking about the person who is potentially the issue. Help them work through the problem. I'm not going to do any specifics, but you get the idea. Lead by example. Never stop recruiting. Never stop doing parties. Make sure you're setting goals. The more you do those things, the more your team members will as well. Work with those who are willing and love the rest. I love this. So don't necessarily give all your time and attention to the people that need your help. Give all your time and attention to those people that deserve your help. So what I mean by that is actions speak louder than words. And if you have someone who is just talking the talk and not walking the walk, then they don't really deserve your one-on-one undivided training and attention. Whereas someone who is doing everything that you tell them to do and they still need your help, then they deserve your help. And those are the people that you want to work with first, and love the rest. Endure. Don't chase the next shiny object. If Scentsy's your game, stay with it. Don't go sign up for all these other direct selling companies, because all you're going to do is chase your tail, because you cannot chase two balls at the same time and catch both of them. It will never work, which is, again, the reason why Scentsy, I believe, this is not something that somebody told me, but I believe that's the biggest reason why Scentsy decided to be done with Grace Adele and Velada. There's a lot of other corporate reasons why they stopped, but I think the biggest reason is that you cannot, like I just said, you can't chase two balls and catch them both. If they're heading in different directions. But make sure that if this is your niche, that you work it and that you become an expert in your field. I didn't write it down. I didn't write down week 10 assignments, but week 10 assignments are obviously week 9 assignments. Read chapter 10. It's our last chapter, and I cannot wait to congratulate all of you on graduation day from this program. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. The only assignment you have for this week is to just read chapter 10 and prepare yourself to, I don't want to say answer to me, because that's not really, I'm not your manager, I'm not your boss, but like be prepared to come up with different ways that you've implemented the things that you've learned in this program to help you with your business. That's going to be your biggest takeaway from this training, and I want you to be able to share this training with others so that they can in turn be as successful as you. So I hope that you got great value out of this week's video, and I will see you next week. Have a great day.